Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. There we go, August 11th in Asia. And the first topic is the publisher's desk. Fencing through life's 4 stages. This publisher's desk is based on 2 stories. Hindu university students had no idea that one's dharma changed according to their age. Not one in the whole class. And then number of Hindu men turning age 72 asked me, what do I do now? And they're hoping I won't say you should renounce your 3 Mercedes, your retirement account, and go off and live in the forest. That's what we do when we're 72. So I don't say that, and they're quite relieved. Here they don't have to do that and give up everything. Oh, we have a story about Rajiv. Rajiv's London classmates are a raucous bunch of teenagers, flushed with vigor, carefree, and oblivious to future responsibilities. They see him as a stodgy fellow, smart, handsome, likable, but missing out on the fun. You're only young once, Jeremy chides. Why not party with us? Come on, change slides here. Rajiv lives in a different world, having learned from his parents that life is measured in 4 stages, and that we reincarnate again and again, so we are young many, many times. He saves his energies for the important stuff, building his knowledge and character in preparation for the family stage, which he will enter in his 20s. Disinterested in fooling around, he hopes to win the hand of a cultured girl with whom to share this lifetime and bring children into the world. Rajiv even looks forward to his elder years when, having fulfilled his duties, he will withdraw into his soul nature, the eternal Rajiv, seeking God realization as he lives out this earthly tenure. Rajiv is convinced that each phase of life has a natural purpose, that each is more rewarding than the last. For now he chooses to study as hard as he can and play a little in between. Rajiv's plan is founded on Hindu tradition, which divides an individual's lifespan into 4 stages, or ashramas. This division, called ashrama dharma, is the natural expression and maturing of the body, mind, and emotions through 4 progressive stages. It was developed millennia ago and detailed in scriptures known as the Dharma Shastras, highlighting the fact that our duties differ greatly as we progress. And that's our first question to you. What is the primary focus of each of the 4 ashramas? Give you a couple of minutes on that one. For those in the first ashrama, Brahmacharya, age 12 to 24, the primary focus is on studying at school and preparing for professional and married life. The second ashrama, Grihastha, age 24 to 48, the primary focus is raising a family and fulfilling a career. Third ashrama, Vanaspratha, age 48 to 72, it's a time of transition from family and career to one of elder advisor to the younger generation. And the fourth ashrama, Sannyasa, age 72 onward, is a time in which the primary focus is on religious practices, disciplines, and yogas. Maitreya Upanishad states, pursuit of the duties of the stage of life to which each one belongs, that verily is the rule. Others are like branches of a stem. With this one tends upwards, otherwise downwards. Simple way of putting it. Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, in the Hindu View of Life, summarizes the four stages of Brahmacharya, or the period of training, Grihastha, or the period of work for the world as a householder, Vanaspratha, or the period of retreat for the loosening of the social bonds, and Sannyasa, or the period of renunciation and expectant awaiting of freedom, indicate that life is a pilgrimage to the eternal life through different stages. I like that, Vanaspratha, or the period of retreat for the loosening of the social bonds. Nicely said. This paradigm is as important and precious now as it was 1,000 years ago, shared by all Hindus regardless of caste or gender. However, the ancient descriptions may not translate perfectly to our modern life. Society has changed too much from how it was in Vedic times in India. For example, it would not work for all 50-year-olds to take up the life of a forest hermit, begging for their food. They would not be accepted by 21st century society. Some countries' forest hermits would end up in jail as homeless vagrants or trespassers, hungry ones at that. A certain amount of reinterpretation is needed to allow contemporary Hindus to utilize the wisdom of this natural evolution of life. As a starting point, let's review the traditional descriptions. First stage, ashramas Brahmacharya, student, called Brahmacharyans, those of divine comportment, usually a period of 12 years from age 7 or 8 to age 19 or 20. Student lived in the Guru's home and learned scriptures, philosophy, science, and logic. He was also taught how to conduct the Vedic fire ceremony. The Brahmacharyan was expected to follow a strict code of conduct, including celibacy, speaking the truth, gentleness in speech, physical austerity such as cold water baths, and eating sparingly at night. Serving the teacher and participating in the household duties were as much a part of his life as formal learning. So that's the old style. Second stage, householder, Grihastha Dharma. Those in this ashram are called Grihasthas. After returning to his family home, the student was expected to marry and raise a family, earning well by righteous means to provide for his wife and children, support his parents, and give generously to charity. Third stage is Vanaspratha, hermit life. Generally around the age of 50 or 55 after the birth of grandchildren, the Shastras explain, the householder is expected to hand over the responsibilities of the family to his children and retire to the forest. He may take his wife if she is willing to live in the forest, to share his life of austerities, or leave her with his sons. Continues the daily fire ceremony, observes continence, devotes himself to contemplation of God. And then we have sannyas, renunciate life, and those in this ashram are called sannyasins. When the forest recluse felt enough inner strength to totally renounce all possessions and lead the life of an itinerant monk, he would embrace sannyasa. After entrusting his wife to the care of the children, in this stage he was to move about constantly from place to place, begging his food and devoting himself to japa, meditation, worship of his deity, contemplation of scriptures. Looking next at how these ancient descriptions of the ashramas can be updated to better apply in our 21st century information age. So Hinduism is not a static religion. We don't have to always do things the way we did 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years ago. We can update many of them. Gurudeva considered that in modern times, each ashrama is a 24-year period, applying equally to men and women. Brahmacharya, first 24 years of life. Grihastha, age 24 to 48. Vanaspratha, age 48 to 72. And Sannyasa from age 72 onward. The goals of Brahmacharya remain the same today. Basically, it's student. But some of the details may no longer apply, such as living in the home of one's teacher. Tense learning is still the main focus. Ideally, one acquires training in the profession he or she will follow in adult life. So that's pretty close. On the religious side, the basics of Hinduism are to be learned, along with memorizing mantras and conducting a puja in the home shrine, a practice that has largely replaced the Vedic fire ceremony in modern times. Students should be taught self-discipline, celibacy, and other positive character qualities. Description of the Grihastha ashrama also stands the test of time. Main focus is on marriage, bearing, and raising children. Serving society through one's career, earning income, taking care of elders, and being charitable. Daily puja is conducted in the home, which ideally the entire family attends. Today, the Grihasthan is the primary teacher of Hinduism to his or her children, a duty the Guru fulfilled in ancient times. So, classes at temples can help, but the parents need to look at it that the primary duty is still theirs. They can't delegate the primary duty. Others can just help. This ashrama is a busy time of engagement in the world while advancing one's family and profession. All of those who are in the middle of it or have gone through it will agree it's very busy. Then we get the interesting part here. How does Gurudeva redefine the Vanaspratha ashrama for modern times? He doesn't want us, when we turn age 50, to go out and live in the forest, husband and wife together. What does he suggest instead? It is in defining the Vanaprastha stage that need arises to rethink the old definitions. Becoming a forest dweller at age 48 is not an option for most people. Instead, Gurudeva described this as a natural time to help and guide the younger generations as an advisor and elder. Brahmacharyans and Grihasthas can actively seek out the advice of Vanaprasthans and draw on and benefit from their years of experience. For example, many Hindus in this age group mentor youth through community programs, serve on the boards of trustees or committees of temples, or fulfill leadership roles in secular nonprofit organizations. This is a time of giving back to the community what one has learned while slowly retiring from professional and public life. So that's the idea, young children, because you're a wiser person. They will benefit from your wisdom. And how does Gurudeva redefine the Sannyasa ashrama for modern times? The parameters of the Sannyasa ashrama have also widened. Sannyasi or sannyasins are wanderers. A small percentage of modern Hindus follow the model of taking up sannyas after retirement, renouncing the world and wandering among the thousands of itinerant sadhus of India, many of whom took up the mendicant path in their 20s and 30s. So for a small group of people, the North Indian cities such as Haridwar and Rishikesh have facilities for those following this sannyasa, but not that many facilities. Outside of India, I don't think there are any countries that have them. This pattern of elders taking up sannyasa is okay for single people, widows and widowers, and it still works in parts of India where society can, you end up in jail. You too have asked me what they should do differently in the years ahead. Hoping I won't say certain things, as I mentioned. My advice is to simply intensify whatever religious practices they are already observing. If you perform a daily puja for 30 minutes, increase it to an hour. If you meditate daily for half an hour, increase it to an hour. If you go on pilgrimage for 2 weeks once a year, increase it to a month. Once these changes have become a firm habit, one would naturally be inclined to devote even more time to religious practices. After age 72, as the physical forces wane, is the time to turn within and withdraw from worldly involvement. A number of our older shishya, their sadhana vigil, plus extra sadhana during other times of the day, exceeds 2 hours. Some even exceed 4 hours. 4 hours a day of sadhana. Oh, it is being practiced by some. Fourth ashramas and give back to society of their experience, their knowledge and their wisdom gained through the first 2 ashramas. The Vanaspratha ashrama, age 48 to 72, is a very important stage of life, because that is the time when you can inspire excellence in the Brahmacharya students and in their families, to see that their life goes along as it should. Later, the sannyasa ashrama, beginning at 72, is the time to enjoy and deepen whatever realizations you have had along the way. So that's the basic idea. As we can see, the Brahmacharya ashrama and the Grihastha ashrama haven't changed that much since they were originally defined thousands of years ago, but definitely Vanaspratha and Sannyasa have changed according to society outside of India. And it's good to know what types of duties one should do during those times to take advantage of the natural forces. This is a natural maturing of the physical, emotional, and mental natures. They're one way up to age 24, they're another way up to age 42, they're another way up to age 72, and they're another way after age 72. So it's recognizing that maturation. And character building workbook. See what we have. I think we're still in the C's there. Compassion is the 11th character quality. How would you define compassion? The workbook gives this definition. Compassion means being aware of and sympathetic toward others, their needs and troubles. It's cultivated when I feel deep empathy for them. Its opposite is uncaringness. So that's a carryover. Ignore that slide. Gurudeva explained, compassion is defined as conquering callous, cruel, and sensitive feelings toward all beings. That's nicely said. Compassion is defined as conquering callous, cruel, and insensitive feelings toward all beings. A compassionate person would tell a plant verbally if he was going to pick from it, intuiting that the plant has feelings of its own. A compassionate person would seek to keep pests away rather than killing them. Compassion comes from the heart, comes spontaneously. It is a total flow of spiritual, material, intellectual giving, coming unbidden to the receiver. And reflection, take a moment to identify a few ways in which you can improve in compassion. The third topic, as usual, quotes from words of our master, Yoga Swami. Okay, sorry, yes, the wrong text is on the slide. We can give initiation by thought to people in Singapore while remaining here. Here being his hut in Jaffna, Kolumbuturai. We can give initiation by thought to people in Singapore while remaining here. What does that mean to you? Saves on airfare, for sure. So I have a little bit of a longer answer to this statement, as if you're not used to it, it would strike you as a bit obscure. I'm talking about omnipresence. Omnipresence is defined as the state of being present everywhere at the same time. In a religious context, omnipresence is generally thought of as an attribute unique to God. God is present everywhere, whereas man is only present in the location of his physical body. Hindu thought differs from this perspective. Not only is God omnipresent, he has graciously shared that attribute with us. Omnipresence is found at the core of the soul. It's the best I could do with my graphic there. Omnipresence is at the pink core. We can compare this to the internet, which was created by the U.S. Department of Defense for their use, but was ultimately given to the world for everyone to freely use. I have coined a word for the omnipresent network that is accessed by experiencing the core of the soul. I call it the internet. Oh, notice it's missing the T. Internet, U.S. Department of Defense, internet, omnipresence. Realized beings have shared their experience of the internet. Our Guru Yoga Swami of Jaffna, Sri Lanka expressed it in this way. Bliss, bliss, bliss. I am here, I am there, I am everywhere. To make sure his devotees didn't think that this was an attainment unique to him, he would also state, I am everywhere, you are everywhere, but you don't believe it. Isn't that a great way to say it? You don't believe it. He also made seemingly outlandish statements such as, now I am sitting here, I am in England also, I am also in America. Not only was Yogaswami able to experience the internet, he was able to utilize it to accomplish tasks at a distance. We can give initiation by thought to people in Singapore while remaining here in Sri Lanka. So that gives a better idea of what he's saying. He's able not only to experience the internet, he's able to do things when he projects himself to distant places, such as give initiation. So that's the Yoga Siddhi. You read about that in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. So since our quote explanation was long, I just did one for Yoga Swami. Oh, and sharing. There we go. Oh.